Hello and welcome to the GameSpot UK podcast. We are live on Twitch and we're also coming at you on iTunes, hopefully. I'm joined today by three very lovely people. Three dudes this week. It is a bit of a brofest. It's a broadcast. You like the broadcast, Cam?
I do enjoy the broadcast.
You do enjoy the broadcast. So that's Cameron Robinson.
Hello. I don't only exclusively enjoy broadcasts. I have nothing wrong with there being girls in here too. They just, you know.
It's alright, you're the one that came
I just
in.
want to put that there before people thought that I was, you know, more inclined to a brofest.
It's alright, we won't get cooties today. We're also joined by Pav, who's our intern.
Yes, hello. So,
Hello.
yeah, this is not just my first broadcast, it's my first cast of my entire life. So,
Wow, there you
I'm
go.
very nervous.
just say things
mostly
can-
nervous.
Don't be nervous. We're friendly, lovely people who won't bite, except possibly Martin Gaston.
Yo, welcome to the broadcast!
Yeah.
How do we initiate Pav?
How do we initiate Pav?
He's a bro
he has
now.
To, he has to drink some water.
Yeah.
My God.
Really fast.
Yeah.
I've seen better.
Down some water.
See better initiation. Yeah, I mean, if we put some thought into it, it might have worked better.
Didn't see you offering up any ideas, Gaston.
Well, you don't want to know my ideas.
Okay.
Yeah,
Probably true.
he's filthy mind, that
Yeah.
boy. So, Pav, you've been interning with us now for, what is it, 2 weeks?
Yeah,
Roughly.
1.5, yeah.
And how's it been? And bear in mind that this will reflect all future employment opportunities, depending on your answer. So,
Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I'm having loads of fun, and just the environment and people. You guys are amazing. The office is so great. Central London, excellent location. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
these are
having-
all good things.
It doesn't feel like working either. So like when I edit videos or write stories about games, that feels like entertainment
Oh,
to
it
me.
will feel. It will feel like work eventually.
Especially if you have to work with him.
Yeah. I make it
Yeah.
feel like work.
He really
not
does.
That's not
Yeah.
true.
Well, that's a challenge though.
Comes in,
True, I'm relatively laid back.
spouting his opinions about things. Oh, Mark, have you got any opinions? And he comes in, oh, here's some opinions.
Me, every time. So Martin's been here for like 2 weeks. Every morning he walks in, you've seen this crap on the news today.
Yeah.
It's like, what is this crap? I'm like, well, I don't know.
I'm in with the topical events.
In with the topical
Yeah.
events. And there's lots of
Yep.
topical events this week.
Oh, so many.
So
Yeah,
many.
so
That,
many.
many of which will come up in the news quiz.
That was
actually.
some segue.
We're not doing the news quiz yet.
No, I know, but
No.
even just to tie it in there, I was
Yeah.
impressed.
Well, you know, these are the pro casting.
I do enjoy a good segue.
Mark and I were literally practicing that for about 45 minutes.
Yeah.
I just
Took a
read
while.
it, didn't I?
And
walked all over
also,
it.
speaking of Segway, I read a really interesting news story yesterday from the guy that invented the Segway has patented this thing. And it's a thing, and I know this isn't strictly gaming related, but it blew my mind when I saw it. It's like I wondered what the world was coming to, sort of moment. Basically, he's patented this thing where you eat food, and then you attach.
Genius!
No, yeah, okay. Let me finish.
Oh, just the fork?
No, it's not a fork.
Okay.
The sport.
And in order to lose weight, it's a device that you attach to your stomach via your belly button, and you eat, leave it 20 minutes, and then it sucks the food out again into a toilet.
That's disgusting.
Oh.
Right?
God.
So in that way, you can eat whatever you want
Isn't that
and not have...
isn't that just like bulimia?
No, you see, that was one of the
things.
things they were talking about, is that... obviously they got asked that, is that not a disease? And they were like, well, yeah, but it doesn't have the side effects of bulimia. It might have the psychological effects for someone later on. They haven't done long-term research with this yet. But it doesn't have the side effects of the stomach acids eroding your teeth, etc. Right? That's a
Right.
physical thing that, only happens when you throw up.
You just have the hole in your stomach. Easy.
Well, it's not a hole. You use your belly button. Just slightly.
Isn't
Fair enough.
that a bit painful just having like stuff
I have
sucked out of you?
literally no idea. It was a patent application that's actually been made into a product and has been approved for sale in Europe.
Can we
Imagine
explain
if-
this one?
No.
How does it get out? Is it like a valve? Does it
I-
like...
Yeah.
Mine. I honestly read
I think
this
it's
and
like
just went,
siphoning
no.
petrol. There's something around.
It just looked like the roughest thing in the entire world, and I was just blown away by it. I just
So
couldn't believe it.
how does this siphon work?
I wouldn't know. I've never
Hey,
stolen
hey,
petrol in
Cam.
my life.
Yeah.
Bring the science.
Bring the science.
think it
It's all to
sounds-
do with
Yeah.
with the sucking. Anyway, I don't know.
So where would you suck?
We're still talking about this
Back to-
device, right?
Yeah,
We
for
are.
the device. So I've just had my lunch. I had my chili. Okay, walk me through the
It's been
process.
20 minutes,
Yeah.
so now he's got to use the
I'm
device.
ready for it to come out, Cam.
He doesn't want to absorb those calories.
Right.
Like, so they have to be taken
Yeah.
out before they get to that part of the stomach.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Okay. Well, that sounds weird
And horrible.
and disgusting.
Anyway, sorry, that was a really weird tangent to go on, but
no,
I
it's
just
good.
thought...
Better than your soap tangent from last week.
Hey, everyone
which
was
I
into the
watched.
soap last
Yeah.
week. Like, everyone was all like, soap. Actually, that wasn't me. That was you that started that.
And we're still into soap, by the way. We all still use soap.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
It's not like soap's gone out of fashion here.
I don't use soap.
What?
Actual bars of soap. Physical
okay.
bars of soap.
Oh yeah, but soap doesn't mean that anymore.
Yeah,
that was like
liquid
1990s
soap.
soap. Like,
It's
But
all
not,
soap now.
But it's not even that's not technically soap, is it?
Yeah, it is.
Mark,
Well, no,
Mark,
but like you can
Mark.
use certain products that are soap-free. I use soap-free products.
You need to calm down, all right?
Wow. So you dislike soap so much that you use soap free.
Yeah, well, the reason for soap-free is that soap dries out your skin, right? So, you know, that's what it does to me. So then I use like that simple stuff. Anyway, this is really
But
bad.
when we say soap, we mean that as well. That's included in our.
But it's not though, is it? Because that's not the technical meaning
Yes,
of
I
soap.
know,
No.
but people use it though, and I think that's how language is.
And I still call it the Hoover.
Yes,
Has anyone seen the Hoover?
I call it the vacuum,
Yeah.
actually.
I'm sure you do.
No, I
No,
bet
no,
you
no,
call
I mean,
it. Bet you call it
nothing wrong with that.
Dyson. You've always say, "Oh, have you seen the Dyson?"
No, I don't have a Dyson, mate.
Oh,
What do you
have you
think? I'm
seen
made
my
of money
Dyson?
with
Yes.
all those DmC reviews I've been paid off for. Like,
Yeah, you
you know,
should be.
I should be rolling in Dysons right
Should
now.
be.
I should have a Dyson ball and one of those mini ones, just to,
Just for
you
the
know,
hell of it.
just for the hell of it.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
Never
whatever,
use it.
whatever. Capcom
You have a
paid me off.
cleaner that does it anyway.
Yeah.
Well, this is awkward.
Yeah. Anyway, so DmC is a thing that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. How are we all finding it? Because I know you've all been playing it actually, and all been sort of checking it out. So.
Guys, just give me a laptop. I'm
Guys just
worried.
walked in with a laptop.
I'm worried. This is.
Is that a bot?
Into the chat. I just saw
Hi, guy.
I'm worried this is
um,
like 24, and now
so-
the laptop's going to have this like horrible instruction of like.
It's going to be like that bit in Die Hard where you have to solve with the water.
Yeah.
You've
Yeah.
got here. You have to use it to.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
During this
2 liters of
podcast,
wine.
So for the benefit of the people listening on iTunes, Guy Cocker, editor of GameSpot UK, has walked into the room and handed Martin a laptop, which I assume will contain instructions and will cause
Yeah.
the laptop to self-destruct.
Great, how long have we
shortly
got?
after.
just did a beep.
It's not a good sign.
Anyway, DmC.
Yes, sorry,
Yeah.
Devil May Cry.
Yeah.
That's the game.
I know this is the
Big
one
deal.
game we've all been playing.
Yes.
So you said spectacular there.
Well, personally, yeah, it's definitely my best game of the year so far. But it's also the only
because
game
you
I've
know
played.
You know what? I read
Okay.
there was a headline like that. 2013, like game of the year. It's like what?
Yeah,
It's like it's January, man. Of course, you know.
yeah. Well, it's the only game I've played, but it is so good. So definitely, as a DmC fan, I would
Yeah.
recommend it. And looking ahead, I'm not too ambitious, so like I normally get about 5 good games per year. So I already got 1 on my list, so I'm really happy with that.
Yeah, only 5. You say. Is that you sort of just stretched to playing 5 throughout the year?
I'm
That's really
being
interesting.
generous there, so like most of the time I don't even get to play 5 good games.
Ah. That's kind of, I don't know. I mean, is that because you don't have the time, or is it a money thing? Is it like you only want to
It's a
buy,
combination
like,
of things, and also sometimes I get advised to play certain games. Like
Yeah.
last year it was Borderlands 2. I don't want to disappoint fanboys, but
Do you not enjoy it?
I hated that
Ooh,
game.
don't say that around Johnny
Wow.
Chiarini. He loves
Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Chardonnay will throw one.
Yeah, I think I don't know, and he's not alone. But so like there are millions of fans. I don't know. I couldn't get into it. It's just the whole kind of collecting loads of stuff, and in an FPS, I don't know. FPS for me is more simple. It's like you go from room to room, you kill a bunch of morons, like completely
yeah, but
brainless.
it is an FPS, but it's an RPG. It's not. It's
Mm.
really.
Yeah.
It's just an RPG that's played from a first-person perspective.
I know.
That's
I
all.
know. And the artistic style is quite nice. It's
Yeah.
kind of like I don't know, original in a way. But I don't know. I just couldn't get into it. So there you go.
It's fair enough. Fair enough.
Fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I tried with Borderlands 2. I didn't think it was a bad game. I thought it was really good. I just didn't have the time to sort of to put into it and to really make it.
Yeah, I feel I missed the boat a little bit. I spent a couple of evenings after work playing online with Guy and a few other people. But that
Oh
was
yeah,
about-
this is when you all started. I said to you guys.
Yeah, you were you
Because I was
away, or
reviewing
you were
like a bunch of
something?
stuff, and I was like, guys, look, don't start
Oh.
Borderlands for like another week. Then
I
I've
know.
got like all the time, and
What-
then you guys just started playing it without me. And
Were
I
you
was
doing
like, oh
all
well,
the-
I don't want to do it now.
Weren't you doing all the football games at the time?
Yeah, I was
That's
doing like
the
FIFA.
FIFAs
I was
and
like,
the PES.
so much work to do, and I was like, I can't play Borderlands. So just don't start for like a week, and then they just went and played without me.
Paf.
You don't believe this,
Help me,
Pat.
help me, Pat.
They went and played without me. That's the kind of people that you're working with. Okay,
Oh,
mean people.
Mean people.
well,
But it-
So yeah, but you were playing on Xbox anyway, weren't you?
yeah, I was.
I
you're
wouldn't play
a
on-
PC
I wanted to play
elitist.
on
so
PC.
you know.
Yeah.
Me
I'm
too.
not a PC elitist.
I'm just kidding.
Anyway, I broke my PC now. So
Really? Yeah, I saw you tweet about that. What did you do? And this is again getting off the topic of DMC. We will.
well, there's
come
lots
back
of DMC talk, but yeah, well this is gaming talk. So it's I've got this PC at home, which basically I broke by trying to update the BIOS with a basically hacked BIOS by hex editing some of the files in order to get it to run Hackintosh better.
Okay.
So in order for it to work with native power management and sleep, which is quite nerdy, but there you go. And basically, it looked like it had updated the BIOS fine, and then it just went, wait a sec, and then it's dead. It's dead. So,
Wow.
But I did discover that I don't have to buy a new motherboard, which is good. And that this motherboard has a removable BIOS chip.
Oh, wow, okay.
Knew?
Fancy.
Okay, just need chip.
Who knew? So I can get a new chip.
The
from somewhere.
dangers of hex editing.
Yes. So remember, kids, don't try hex editing at home
Unless you know what you're doing.
unless you know what you're doing.
It's like an exciting weekend.
I know. I had great fun at the weekend.
Yeah.
Well, actually, no, I had great fun until I broke the PC, and then I couldn't do anything because that PC is used for everything. So I was just there, like, don't know, watch New Girl, I suppose. Do something. Anyway, Devil May Cry.
Yes,
you're
yeah.
into this.
I am, yeah. No, we played it a lot yesterday. You might have caught our live stream if you were watching on our Twitch channel. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. We played for a couple of days actually. We had it in the office, and I think collectively I've got about 6 levels in. Sorry, Martin's just
it's
something.
a
Do you want to
funny
share it
comment.
with the group, Martin?
Go on, what's the
They're
comment?
going to chat about Mass Effect 3 and Mary.
Right, okay.
Of course, because that's what we're
Okay,
talking about.
Mary Berry has said the bad thing about my Mass Effect 3 character is he does look and sound like a curry salesman.
I want to know what is the
Yeah.
stereotypical curry salesman.
Do you say
look
curry
like?
or curries?
Curries.
Right. Okay.
Not like
Curry salesman.
Like what?
all right, do you want my curry? Not former, not vindaloo, no.
That's the worst curry salesman impression I've ever heard.
Oh, like there's so many curry salesmen.
I don't know.
I have never met a curry salesman.
It's such a stereotypical type of curry
Okay, what would a
salesman.
curry's salesman sound like then?
Hello, would you like any help?
Hello,
And
would
you
you like
don't
an
know.
extended warranty with that?
Yeah, no, I'm-
would you
I'm
like
just
3
browsing,
years
thank
cover?
you. That's what their shepherd is doing, just selling.
Just selling extended warranties to people around the universe.
Oh, I don't know about that ship, it looks a bit dodgy.
Probably want to get 5 years on that. That's a commission as well for me. So
It's only £20 more.
help
as
a
well.
brother out. Anyway, Devil May Cry is good.
Yeah, it's really good. I was saying I think I got about 6 or 7 levels in, and really enjoying it. It's just a lot of fun, and I'm not a big hack and slash fan. I never really have been. I played I think I played Devil May Cry 3 a bit.
And you better have
a
played
while
Bayonetta.
ago. And I hadn't until I bored off Guy, and I played first few hours, enjoyed that, but I haven't. Like I wasn't compelled even with Bayonetta to keep going.
I'm gonna play. I'm gonna play
DmC
Bayonetta again. I think.
DmC has actually got me more excited and got me wanting to play on more than Bayonetta did. So I'm actually enjoying it more than Bayonetta, which is probably quite controversial to a lot
Yeah,
of.
That is controversial. I mean,
It's
DmC
not-
is
yeah.
great. It's not Bayonetta great though.
But well, I don't know. I'm really enjoying it. The combat it has a great rhythm to it, which and I find it very rewarding quite quickly. I mean, after playing it for 4 hours, you're much better than you were at 2 hours. You know,
Yeah.
I think I really quite enjoy it. For me, anyway.
Learning.
Maybe I
eh?
was just so
Learning.
terrible at 2 hours. But yeah.
No, I agree. You know, I think partly because those first 2 hours are quite slow, but well, maybe hour and a half. But it's I think once it gets going, it's just brilliant. Like the combat system just works really, really well. And I know there's been a lot of talk about it, and everyone's sort of going on. I remember the comments on the review when it went up, and they're still going the discussion about the new look Dante. And I don't. I mean, I fail to understand that personally. As we discussed on the live stream, it's a weird thing for me, like to hear that, because it's like that's an old franchise. It was pretty much dead in the water. What you've got now is a brilliant game that someone's made, and yes, it's changed slightly. I don't think that's it. So what? Like, things have to change, man.
What do you think, Martin? What's been your impression of it?
I'm okay with the change. I didn't think there was much wrong with the old Dante. You know, I'm not gonna. I think there was life in old Dante. Admittedly, I thought Devil May Cry 4 as a game wasn't very adventurous. You know, like it didn't really try very much, and I think that held the series back. I don't think it was the character holding Devil May Cry back. I think it was that 4 was just quite an unadventurous game. I think there was mileage there, but I do quite like what they've done with the new Dante. Again, I treat them as different characters. I think the problem people are going to find is going in one wanting the other. You aren't going to be happy, I think, with the new one. Like if that's all you want is if you want your old Dante, You aren't going to find that. That's not there. But I do maintain that the new Dante, with his snarly face and
In your face attitude.
yeah, his slightly pouty mouth and look, I think he is a good character, and I actually think there's more development of that character than I was expecting. I was actually, if I'm going to be honest, I thought there was going to be a little bit more development. I thought by the end of that game, I thought he was going to maybe loosen up a bit, like, because I see this game as like a coming of age story, where like Dante finds out who he is, what his deal is, and like accepts that, because the themes at the start of the game are basically this: Dante's the son of an angel and a demon, and he's not human, and he's got lots of powers, and he's been an outcast for most of his life. And at the start of the game, he starts to discover why this is, and what the deal with all that, you know, and why it went down, and basically what's really going on in the world, because there's this sort of seedy underbelly of society, and there's this like parallel dimension thing called limbo, where sort of demons occupy. And I thought, as the game went on, he would be a little bit less guarded and a bit more sort of open, and I thought he'd develop this a little bit more, and I think you can kind of see that starting to happen. But
Yeah.
I think within the restraints of that game, it's like, you know, there's a lot of cutscenes at the beginning, then it's quite open in the middle, there's not too many cutscenes, it's this kind of thing where they talk over the action.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the game, there's quite a lot of cutscenes again. I think I did expect there to be a little bit more, especially having played Enslaved, where I think they really got this character development over the course of 6 to 8 hours that this kind of lacks. But I think it's good. I think he's a good character, and I think it's a good game. Like,
There you go.
it's also my favourite game of 2013 so far. So
There you go.
so I think it's 4 for 4.
Clearly, you haven't played that 3DS game yet.
No, the one you keep touting.
Yeah.
Tell
it
people
is.
about this game.
Oh, it's what's it called? Tokyo. Oh, I forgot what it's called now. Oh no, wait, it's
Crash
out.
Time?
No, it's out this week. I've got it here.
Flash mob or something like that.
It's Tokyo Crash Mob. Very close. Very close. Yeah, Tokyo Crash Mob is essentially it's like Zuma, except instead of just like little blobs or like jewels, whatever they are, the hell they are in Zuma, they're basically hipsters and scenesters from Japan. They're Japanese people, and they're all color coded. So that they're scenesters and hipsters. Some of them wear red, some of them wear blue, and you can see where this is going. You got to match 3 or more up, and they disappear. And they're in like a line. They're queuing up for some trendy gig or something like that. And then in order to basically, the aim is to try and get into the gig before all the scenesters take all the tickets, right? And it has varying patterns and stuff, and the way they move and all that. But essentially, all you do is you're this girl, and then you have to throw other Japanese people at the others, and then they do this weird, you know, like Mortal Kombat, that sort of,
Yeah.
the original with the animated sprites that were made from real people. That's what it looks like. And then you just throw them at the other people, and then they explode. And then like a Japanese girl comes on the screen, holds up a sign going, "Wow!" every now and then, and goes, "Okay." And then there's like these weird little cutscenes at the beginning where it's the girls that are trying to get into these gigs, and there's one which I cannot for the life of me figure it out. She's literally just sat on a stair, no, in a chair in a lecture hall, and then she's like looks really sad, and then she just like sort of falls asleep and then wakes up, and then you start the game, and I don't know what this is all about. I don't know what they were trying to do with this game. And then like there's just all these weird like Japanese things that happen while you're playing the game, like all these things like just keep getting shouted out to you, and like I just love it. I love how insane it is. Someone somewhere just thought, let's do this, let's just make this a game.
Does this remind you of the kind of sort of, I don't know, manic Japanese quality that some of the like Tokyo Jungle and way back, like
Tokyo Jungle's a good one. Yeah.
Katamari Damacy, like
Yeah, those sorts of things. I love those games as well, actually.
yeah, those are great games. Like I worked out how to like play import games on my PlayStation 2 to play Katamari, and it's the kind of thing that when you're playing it, you think like this is like a one of a kind. Like even if they make sequels to this, like this isn't going to become like the next cover-based shooter.
No.
Like you're not going to see so many. I forget what this 3DS game is called. Something throw people.
Sorry, Tokyo Crash Mob.
Tokyo Crash Mob, which is out this week.
It is out this week. It's out on the 17th, which is Friday, I believe.
Now you're looking to actually, I think, surprise Danny with this on a random encounter if possible, aren't you?
I am. I'm going to do it this week. So
Yeah.
he's not. I'm not letting him play it. And I'm just going to walk in, or rather, well, I say walk in. I have to walk in with a 3DS capture unit, which
Yep.
is the size of a small house. But just stroll in and then just be like, Danny, play this. Just see what he does, because I think he'll love it.
Now, Danny's a bit hesitant to this because he doesn't want to play something he doesn't know.
Yeah. But I think
So
I
he's like, doesn't
just
want it
think
to happen,
I
but-
just think it will work better if he doesn't know about it. If he just the reactions to what is, and I've seen him react to weird stuff
Yeah.
on the
He
internet.
loves
before.
weird stuff.
and it's great. He just comes out with the best lines. So coupled with some Irish charm, that's like
Yeah.
viewing gold right there.
I'm hoping that by saying it on the podcast, it can start to trigger. Like, you can set that ball into motion. And
It's happening now. People of Twitch and iTunes, please,
yeah.
please
Force it.
petition him. What's his name? Shotzi.
Shotzi.
Just
Tweet him.
just tweet Shotzi
Shotzi.
at Shotzi, no, at Danny O'Dwyer or Shotzi, and just be like, hey, make it happen. Take
Yeah.
your Crash Mob. We want it. We
We
want
were
it
talking
this
about Devil
week.
May Cry, weren't we?
We were.
We were.
but you'd given us quite a good summation of Devil May Cry.
Oh, yeah.
You remember?
So
You
I
were like-
did.
You were like,
I gave a
I
great
forgot I did
summation.
you basically gave us a little mini review, which was
Yeah.
great.
Thanks, man.
That's all right. That's all right. But it matters not, because I did the official review, and the official review says it was great. So,
Yeah. No, I
no, I know you think it's great.
I've
so-
got a question for you guys. What would you like? Because I mean, depending on whether or not it's a critical success, and depending whether or not Capcom
Well,
like
it
I
is a
guess.
critical success.
Sorry, not a critical. Sorry, like in terms of sales.
Sales
Whether it's
success.
a sales success.
Commercial
sorry. It is
success.
commercial success. Thank you. Whether or not it is, we may see a sequel. What do you think?
Good question.
And
I
what
don't
would-
know.
And if we did, what would you like to see change?
I would like to see. I'd probably just like to see less of the lame boss battles, less of the sort of overblown platforming section. Some of them work, some of them didn't. And I think there's room for them. And perhaps just a tiny little bit more exploration in terms of
character.
No. Well, yeah, but in terms of the environments, because
I
it's
see.
very
Yeah.
linear as it is, and that's not linear is a word that's thrown around. It doesn't always mean it's bad. It's just a method of doing things. But I think that there's scope there to open up a little bit.
Just to play devil's advocate on those points you made about about getting rid of some of the platforming sections or that kind of thing. I mean, I guess you kind of need these things to interrupt the pace, right? Because otherwise, if it's just constant fights, constant
Yeah.
battles,
It's all right, don't worry.
Martin's playing things in a laptop.
Yeah.
It can become like Call of Duty in essence when it's just too much, and it just
But I think there are other ways to break it up.
okay.
There are other ways, perhaps, with the narrative and the character development. Like Martin mentioned, I think Enslaved's a really good example of that, where they did a really great job, and you could break it up in that way, and it'd be much more, interesting anyway to me. And maybe bring back a little the. I mean, it's pretty insane, relatively insane, but make it more insane. Bring back a little bit of that insanity into some of the stuff that Dante does. It's pretty gritty and grounded, and I like some of the themes in there. But maybe next time, just go nuts with it. Not Bayonetta nuts. I mean, the thing about Bayonetta is when you start that game, when you're catapulted, you're fighting in outer space on top of a clock against like these winged angel things, and suddenly crash to Earth. It's just like it's just amazing. I love that they just went, you know what, screw it. That's what we're doing. That's a thing. And when she uses her magical powers, her hair is her. Everything about it is just amazing.
Well, it's close. DmC is close in its ridiculousness.
But it doesn't have those. It doesn't. I mean, the original Devil May Cry games have more of those moments, whereas this one is very much. They've gone for the gritty sort of thing, which people love nowadays. Everything's gritty.
Gritty got some grit.
James Bond's gritty now, right? I mean, look what they did there. Star Trek, that's gritty. Star Trek was never gritty.
I worry
That
the
was
new
point
Star
of
Trek is going to be too gritty.
It's like, because Star Trek's like.
The first Star Trek was really fun.
Oh, it was great. I loved it.
And also, James Bond is gritty, but I also think Skyfall tries to make it like more fun.
I think Skyfall's a great.
Yeah,
film.
but the further into that film you get, they start to make
Yeah.
James Bond fun. So maybe the grit movement is starting to pass.
Yeah, maybe because then
Because James Bond, like Casino Royale, was one of the first. Like,
that
things
was
are gritty now.
And there was don't forget Batman.
Yeah.
Batman. Dark Knight is like gritterama.
Yeah.
It's a grit fest of grit.
That's a bit.
Can we please stop saying grit?
It's a new
I'd love to
term.
see that on the poster.
Also, True Grit. That was gritty.
Oh, it was a good film.
Yeah.
That was very gritty. So yeah, I think we should stop saying the word.
Truly was gritty. We're getting to the point we're going to say the word too many times.
It's gonna lose all
and,
meaning.
Yeah, we're going to be like, oh no.
What is it?
Why do they call it grit?
Isn't grits a food in America?
What?
Grits.
Like in My Cousin Vinny.
Yeah, they
It's
eat
like
grits.
Grits and
integral to
gravy,
the
something
plot.
like that.
I doubt anyone Americans listening because they're like totally asleep right now. But if you are and you know what grits are, let us
Yeah.
know. Isn't it? I'm sure it's like some kind of corn-based
Yeah,
I
Joe
think,
Pesci
it's
would know.
something crispy.
crispy. It's not
Yeah.
crispy. No.
No?
I don't think it is. I think it's like a sort of a
Like a cornbread type thing.
No, like a it is corn, but it's like a sort of porridge sort of thing with corn.
That's
Sort of-
dark.
I think. Anyway.
Shapowie
No one-
says these guys are talking absolute grit.
Yeah. Very good.
Good
That
one.
was a
Wow.
little bit clever.
It's
a little bit mean.
maybe too clever. So what else has been on?
Maybe too
What else?
Yeah, it's evolved already.
Yeah, it's
the chart's
evolved.
evolved already. Some other things that
So what else has been on our gaming radars? I mean, I because I've been sort of caught up with Devil May Cry. I haven't played a lot else apart from Tokyo Crash Mob. So anyone else got anything to sort of throw around? There's not a lot out. So
No, there's not a lot. I didn't get to play any games over Christmas because I was back up in Edinburgh and I didn't take a console with me. So, but since I come back, I've gone back to Far Cry 3. Still haven't finished it, but I don't really have much to say that's not really been said about it.
you've
other
talked a
than-
lot about Far
Yeah,
Cry
I know.
3, but
Love
it's-
it. Second down, that was good. That's pretty much yeah.
Yeah, no, it's great.
But yeah, I also played Faster Than Light. Finally got around to playing
Good
Faster
work
Than Light
on
the other
Faster
day.
Than Light. Yeah.
And really enjoyed it. Yeah, it's really fun. Randomly, I had a little guy called Seb in my spaceship. I didn't even name him. He was just already called Seb.
You mean
And he-
podcast producer and video?
Yeah, he's
extraordinaire
in the
Seth
room
Ford.
right now. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I therefore assumed it was Seb Ford, and we had this mission, and I think I got to this. I didn't do very well. I got to like the second zone, like second galaxy map thing, and I came into this nebula, and then we started getting. Oh, no, sorry, it wasn't nebula. It was asteroid belt, and I got attacked, and I just defeated the enemy ship, but then the asteroids were pounding my ship, and so the oxygen system was kind of down. And had Seb trapped in the med bay. Everyone else was dead, and Seb was in the med bay, just being kept alive. But then the oxygen was going down, and then it's like crap. I need to go fix the oxygen. So Seb ran in to fix the oxygen, and it was so close to being fixed. But then he ran out of oxygen, he died.
Cool
Wow.
story,
Sorry,
bro.
Seb. Yeah, but it was great. But so and to sum up, I really like Faster Than Light.
How'd you feel about that, Seb?
Sound harrowing.
Harrowing.
Is that how
in
you
case you didn't hear
imagine-
that, it was harrowing.
It's the way he always hoped he'd go.
Yes. So yeah, it was just a really fun game. It's incredibly addictive.
Did you complete it though?
God no, I'm not very good. It's hard.
Is it?
So
Yeah.
So I kept replaying. I must have played like 10, maybe 15 missions in a row because it was just really fun.
Awesome.
And yeah, I mean, it maybe lacks a bit of exploration, or it's maybe a bit more repetitive. I know it's based around the combat, right? The combat is the main thing, and it's really fun, and I can't really fault it at all. But I would like to see. I mean, what I've always been looking for is when I was a wee kid, I used to play a game called Space Rogue, which I think I mentioned on the podcast before, and it was a similar idea. You know, you'd start. It was kind of randomly, procedurally generated kind of environments, and you went from kind of star system to star system, and there were also bases you'd go in and walk around in like a top-down 8-bit kind of thing, and you'd meet enemy ships and you'd fight them, and it was just, it had a really broad scope. I feel like what Fast and Light does is incredibly well, but I'd love to see it expanded. And I know it's kind of getting into territory of other games, but it would be nice to see if maybe, you know, sometimes when you arrived at a new place, you arrived at a base you could actually go into and explore, or you arrived more different types of scenarios, you know?
Yeah,
I find a lot of repetition of, it was usually combat scenarios, and they were fun.
That's the whole point of that game, isn't it?
Yeah, I know, it is. Yeah, I know. I know maybe I'm asking it to do something that was never designed to do. It's not a failing in the game, it's just I enjoyed what it's got there so much. It would have been really cool to kind of see it expanded.
Wow, if you want Faster Than Light, I know for a fact it's in the Steam sale at the moment at 60% off.
It's £3.49.
$3.49,
It's a lot of fun.
which is like a bargain, frankly.
It's a game I imagine would do well on their mobile devices too.
game that would do well on
Like on
mobile
an iPad,
devices.
do you think?
Yeah.
Or am I
think
missing something?
No, I think you're right. It would, but I don't know if they've got the money to sort of do that, to have development for iOS, which is a shame.
I don't think they will now.
No, why? Because it's on the Steam sale.
No, because it's been very successful and
Oh, so you
hugely popular. And
you think they will? Do you think?
I think they, if it could work, they would have the money and resources for it now, to port it over. Like not originally, but I imagine FTL has done very well for them.
Have you played much?
I played a bit. I find it difficult. I like it, but I find it quite difficult. I'm hoping to go back to it. It's one of those games where I started it and I was playing it for a bit and I go, this is clearly good. And then something else came up and I can't remember what it was. Probably something rubbish, in my game. I tend to ping pong between like great games. Then I go, oh, this game's too good. I have to stop playing because I'll run out of it. And I want to savour the quality of this game.
Yeah. And
So I'd be like, right, so I put on some old tosh because then I can just blast through that. And then I'll have another chapter of this. I don't want to run out of games too quickly. So sometimes I stop and I think of what I've just said and how I live my life, and then I think, why?
Don't worry. We have those thoughts every day.
Why do you do that to yourself?
Why have you done that? I'm sort of at one of those points actually, because we've literally just got Ni no Kuni in, which I've been so excited to play since it was announced, and I know that if I start playing it, I'm pretty much dead to the world. And I don't know if I can afford to do that right now. Like, I need to be out in the world, so I'm like, man, but I want to play
be fair,
Ni no
now's
Kuni.
the time though. Now's the time because you've got a big window of like there being no other games. So if you're going to invest in Ni no Kuni,
Yeah.
like end of January is actually a good time because once we hit like the end of the quarter, there's going to be loads of games, and you're going to be reviewing them left, right, and centre. There's going to be reviews over here, reviews over there, and it's
over there,
and here, and I'm going to put
some
that
up there. Like, I mean, it's just insane, isn't it?
fucking down reviews. It's going to be tough for
Yeah.
you.
Great for us. Tough for you.
Screw you guys. Well, I'll play through.
Play through before Bioshock hits.
Oh,
That's what
don't
you gotta-
Bioshock, man.
you gotta
Oh
have it,
man,
right?
before Christmas, I played like the first 4 hours of that game, and it was just awesome.
The first one.
Oh no, Bioshock Infinite.
At a
Yeah.
press event.
Yeah, I went to
that was
press-
a thing last year, wasn't
Yeah,
it?
yeah, the thing was just the tail end of last year, just before Christmas, and it was cool. I sat on the sofa and I played Bioshock for a long time, and man, that game is good.
It looks amazing. How does it compare to previous ones?
It's got the way I thought of it is that I ignore Bioshock 2 completely. I liked it, but it's not of the same caliber. So you basically just compare it to the original Bioshock. So yeah, it's really similar in that you sort of have similar themes throughout. Like it's got all these, you've got all the powers, and you've got all this sort of really cool, like the posters that go up on the walls are in
Yeah.
that same sort of style that tell you all about the like the potions and things like that. And it's that steampunk aesthetic is still there,
Yeah.
which is really, really cool. But excuse me, it's different in that your character talks and you have cutscenes, and that's really
that is very different.
yeah, it's really different in that respect, but it works.
Do you think it's going to have the same element of fear that Bioshock had? Because Bioshock was quite
scary? Yeah. Less so because you're dealing with an environment that is large and bright, and but in the outdoor sections. But then there were sections that I played. There's this one section where you go into basically, I think it was a toy store or something really similar, like a theme park place on the beach. And there's like, you go through and it's all quite scary. Cause it's like not scary, but kind of eerie because there's like all these weird clown things everywhere, and like you're trying to fight off all these people. And I think the thing about the initial sections of the game are that you're not fighting against scary monsters either. You're fighting against people. So I don't think it is until later in the game the shocks probably properly kick in. And when at the point where the demo I was playing sort of stopped was a huge spoiler, so I will not say. But it was a big twist, and that was really early on. And I think from that point things start getting really messy and like freaky and like messed up. So before that, you're sort of in a world that is intact. When you go into was it Rapture?
Yeah.
It's already destroyed. It's ruined. Whereas in this, you're sort of at the beginning. It's still a functioning society, and people live there, and you can see how it's going to go wrong, but it's not gone wrong yet, and you're there as it's about to. And I think that's at the point in the game where the demo stops, and then you're like, man, I just literally it stopped. I was like, I want to play this whole thing right now. I could just sit there and just play it. So yeah, it's looking really cool.
I think it looks amazing. I just hope it's as strong as its predecessors on the story side. So like previous games, they were emotional, feelings were involved, and that's one of the things I'm
Lots of
looking
feelings.
forward.
What a feeling.
Pray
This is
for
part
a
of the
game.
podcast where we sing. I just want to put that out there.
Okay.
You've obviously never done it before.
Oh,
But we
okay.
sing every week. Just so you know.
Feeling is the key word for that. Like, anytime
Yeah.
someone says feelings. Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. Like, I think
Yeah.
the story's going to be pretty top notch. I hope so. Like from what I played, it's pretty exciting at the start. So yeah, did you play that demo as well? You must have.
No. I'm staying well away. I'm media blackout for
Oh,
Bioshock.
really?
I don't want to know. I don't wanna know.
I had to go. So I was
Yeah.
like,
I'm sorry, games media. I don't want to know about Bioshock. I have no interest in finding anything out about Bioshock
you
before
could
it comes
because
out.
you're that excited about it.
Just because I think it's the kind of game that's probably better when you know as little as possible going in.
Okay.
I know there's a dude in it and there's a girl, and it's set in like a floating thing that's like America or something, and that's pretty much all I know
That
about
sums
Bioshock.
it up.
All right. I should probably stop talking about this then.
Do you want to know what the chat have been playing this
Yeah.
week?
Yeah, actually, I would. I'd love to know what people have been playing.
My Friends Pro has just finished Thomas Was Alone,
Good work.
which he
Good
says
game.
was a bit good. It was good, a bit easy on the story. No, God, I'm reading this really badly. It was good, a bit easy, but the story, even though it's about squares and rectangles, is actually really nice. Now, I bought Thomas Was Alone over Christmas in the Steam sale, and Danny loves it, and I'm looking forward to giving it a go.
I saw Mike Bithell
Did you?
at Minecon. I attended one of his talks.
Was it good?
Yeah, he was talking about Thomas Was Alone, funnily enough, and how he developed
Yeah.
it and how it was very difficult for him.
Yeah. Devil Arc 1993 is playing Torchlight 2, which I love. Perillion is playing Dishonored, Pokemon Leaf Green, and Need for Speed Most Wanted on Vita. And he half thanks Guy for pointing out that it's a good port.
Half thanks.
Joey
It's like,
Joey-
you get the full thanks.
Joey GD says he can't stop playing Guild Wars 2. I have a problem.
Guild Wars 2. Yeah.
Well, Joey, I think
Forgot about that, but
you
yeah.
might need to sort that out if it is becoming a genuine problem.
See a doctor.
Yeah, do sort that out. Maryberry21 is too busy playing Pokemon.
Is she preparing for Pokemon X and Y? Is that what
Mary
this
Berry.
is?
I hope so. I hope so.
Whilst baking a cake.
Yes.
Okay.
Lovely tort.
A lovely taunt.
Dante's God has been playing Devil May Cry 3, which is a great shout because
It's
that
handy
game,
when your name is
that
Dante as
game
well.
rocks.
I don't think that's a coincidence.
I don't know. Could be a
Yep.
big coincidence there. I like it.
And Razor Frost is playing some Anarchy Reigns before Metal Gear Rising Revengeance releases. We have a new, I think it might still be exclusive trailer for Metal Gear Rising Revengeance that's about 14 hours long.
It has some choice voice acting.
Yeah,
let's just
we
say
all
that.
ran around to watch it yesterday, and while I think it looks good, we got halfway through this trailer and we're like, are we watching a film? Like, what? So I guess it's typical for that kind of game.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
you're like,
MGS style.
man. But there is a shot of Raiden in like just driving a car around like a dude.
This
just a
like
regular
massive
dude.
cyborg.
And it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
And I can just imagine doing like other things, like, you know, picking up some groceries, coming back home, just like doing that thing where you check the mail in your flat and then you have to sort of scoot down and pick up the mail and then you're like opening your bills and just be like, oh God, not that. Oh God, I don't want to pay. Oh, council tax.
He just gets really angry and just like flips, takes a sword out and starts cutting everything. I don't know who does. There's no melons in that man's house, that's for damn sure.
Now, one of my favourite things about Metal Gear Rising is because I've played the first level and they totally play up to the melon thing. Like there's a gag where he has to, like in the tutorial, he's got to chop melons and then he goes around the corner and there's like a giant melon.
Amazing.
That's
yeah.
funny.
So know what he's doing. Also, Guy has requested that we discuss
Him?
Yes.
Disgust me.
Disgust
What's your
Guy
favourite thing about
Cocker.
Guy? Everything. Now, I haven't read this, but he sent me a press release through, so I guess we'll be learning together. Like, this has just come out.
Is this news?
This is
I
fresh
guess.
breaking news.
Oh,
Go on,
this
breaking
is-
news.
We're piping it fresh out of the news pipe. Dead Island Zombie Bait Edition has been announced for Dead Island Riptide.
Hang on, what are all these things? What's Dead Island Riptide?
Dead Island
was
Riptide
the
is
se-
Dead Island Riptide is the new Dead Island game.
Yeah, from
The sequel to the popular Dead Island.
Oh, I see. So it's going to be bundled with...
And this is the new Zombie Bait Edition. It will be releasing a strictly limited Dead Island Zombie Bait Edition of Dead Island Riptide when the game launches in the UK on the 26th of April. Okay. Right, I think I can see why Guy sent this across now. The centerpiece of this collector's edition will be a resin statue, which is Dead Island's grotesque take on an iconic Roman marble torso sculpture.
Oh, what?
Measuring 31 centimeters high and 18.5 centimeters wide, each of the zombie bait sculptures are hand painted and depict the grisly remains of one of, I can't pronounce that island, Palani Island's zombie infected. All right. Now, I do feel Guy has sent us a press release that is slightly more visual than it is oral.
Oh, okay. Okay,
Oh, I
so
see.
for the benefit of people listening at home,
Can you spin it?
what this is horrifying. Can we hold this up to a camera
Yeah.
in some way? And then we'll try and talk you through it for anyone that's listening on the podcast. Yeah, there you go.
Just set it down the table.
Ah,
Reflection.
look, that's it. That's it. Hold it there. There we go.
Wow.
That, ladies and gentlemen, is what you can buy. Why would you want that in your house?
No.
Why? You can't even put that on the mantelpiece. Like, it's not, at least with the Batman statue, it's kind of nerdy, but okay. It's
Sebastian
Batman.
Ford, what are you doing?
Yeah, but this is contemporary art.
When you said did you say something like a Roman torso or something?
No, it was Martin that was reading
Yeah,
it.
Yeah,
that's the official press release.
Oh, because I was thinking
I was
like,
thinking
oh,
like
so like
Marvel-
Michelangelo's David, except
Yeah, like a
zombified, like that's
Roman
what I was
bust.
thinking.
How is that a Roman? How?
know, how?
On what planet? Okay, so for the people, can I just describe this picture to the people that are listening at home?
Do you want to describe it verbally?
Yeah, just so basically, Martin said this was a Roman torso.
I've just read the press
yeah,
release.
no, which was a
Okay.
press release. No, it's not his thing.
Yeah.
But what it actually is a bikini model with no head and like no arms
Yeah.
that have been severely torn off.
Yeah.
Wearing a Union Jack bikini over some rather ample breasts.
And two of her ribs are
Yeah.
poking out because I guess she's dead.
Well, yeah,
Oh, zombie bait edition.
yeah,
That's dark.
it's pretty dark.
And very tastefully, the box has been made so that the one certain point, a focal point of this model, can be seen in the retail box packaging.
Which part do you mean? I have no idea.
What could it be?
It's the chest area.
Yeah, it's the chest. It's the chest.
Oh.
Basically, they've.
Now I get it.
Wow. Anyway, so if you want to own that,
Thanks, guys.
you can
Yeah.
you can own it at
Guy
some point.
Cocker,
Guy's comment there is,
everybody.
remember when Dead Island was about emotional trailers? No.
No, that lasted for a good week, and then everyone. forgot
They've
about
not put a price on this, and I can't see the RRP.
it. But it will be out on April 23rd, 2013.
Yeah.
So there you go.
I don't know how much that thing's going to cost. Anyone want to make any guesses?
Too much.
Too much.
Too much
I think
money.
it's going to cost them all of their morals.
Yeah.
So there you go. If you want a decapitated bikini model,
Don't we all?
don't we all?
I was also very worried then when we zoomed in on the screen that I would have something open in my browser history that was going to be super bad. So I'm looking through that now, and I think it's okay. I think I've gotten away with it.
All right,
Good
excellent.
to know.
Well, look, I think now it's time for the news quiz. As we had our first bit of news, it's time for the quiz of news, which this week has 5 questions and will be awesome.
Okay.
So,
I will.
when I hold the paper not upside down, first question, 5 points up for grabs. Martin,
Can we just go through the rules here about
All
buzzing
right,
and such?
all right.
Just before we get going.
here are the rules.
Okay.
You have to buzz in, i.e., by saying your name, because we don't have buzzers.
Saying your name.
Yeah, you have to
You
say
can.
your name. You have to say your name now, right?
Okay.
Okay. And if you guess wrong, you're out for that thing until everyone else has had a guess. And if they all guess wrong, you get another guess.
Okay.
Okay.
Love
Those
it,
are the
love it.
rules. So far, Martin, you won last week.
I
didn't
did,
you?
yeah.
So Martin's taken the lead so far.
Do I get any concessions?
You get no concessions. In fact, it's harder for you because you're an intern. So you can
So I lose a point.
You're gonna get halfway.
you have to start on -2.
Okay.
You all start on 0. It's fine, except mine. So, according to analyst Colin Sebastian, And off the news on the laptop.
I am off the news.
All right. How much will the next PlayStation or Xbox cost?
I didn't read this yesterday.
I'll
but I
take it
saw
to the nearest if you don't know.
Martin, $400.
Okay.
Cam.
Cool buzzers.
450.
Okay.
Pav 360.
Goes to Pav. Well done.
Wow.
Yeah, it's actually
serious?
yeah, it was 350. 350. There you go. So this is an analyst for Robert W. Baird, who's an industry watcher, apparently. He issued a note to investors today predicting that the Xbox 720 and PlayStation 4 could debut at $350. 360 launched in 2005 at $400, and the PlayStation 3 debuted at $500.
Yeah.
Which is a lot of money.
Competitively priced.
Although, having looked, I read a really interesting feature the other day on Ars Technica, and it was this guy that used to work in a game shop, and he was talking about the launch prices of like the 3DO and like stuff, and that was like $600 when it came out. Can you imagine
That's
that?
crazy. Yeah.
It was like crazy amount of money, and like the Jaguar and stuff like that. Anyway, so he also reckons that the Xbox and PS4 will be built using existing off-the-shelf high-end PC components.
Right.
Other features may include a hybrid physical-digital distribution model, enhanced voice controls and motion sensing, as well as, get this, insight here, broader media capabilities. Who would have thought?
See, I'm sorry, but apart from the price, and who knows where that comes from, this story is meaningless. We've had so many.
Well, it's an analyst, you know. It's one of those ones, isn't it? I thought it. I mean, look, I know it's.
I'm not getting you a news quiz.
No, absolutely not. I didn't write this, and it's one of those things.
I didn't write this.
I didn't write this.
I wasn't part of it.
But you know, it's. I mean, it's interesting to think that you know, at 350, would you take the bait? Do you reckon that's a good price?
I think
mean,
I'll be happy if it's at 350.
well, that's dollars. I mean, hope
So
you,
In here, it's
Do you
gonna cost
know
about
they'll
300.
just turn that dollar
300.
sign to a pound?
Yeah.
well, you'd hope for £300 max. If
Yeah.
you be, and that's not too
That's
optimistic. That can
reasonable
happen.
for UK, yeah.
Yeah. But £350, I'd probably still do it.
I'm still going to be surprised if they're that cheap.
Really?
Yeah.
You think they're going to go down that road where it's like
I don't think they've got much of a
boom,
choice.
Uber powers.
I mean,
I want
if you're,
them.
if
I
you're
want
wanting
them
the
to.
Uber powers, you got to pay for it.
I want them to do that, but
Yeah.
you know, as for the off-the-shelf high-end PC components, I suppose it depends on what you mean by off-the-shelf. There, no consoles ever really, except the original Xbox actually did.
Did it?
Yeah, the original Xbox just used a regular Intel processor and like graphics card. It was basically a PC.
So that's recycling, basically, kind of, in a way.
Yeah, I
Reusing.
guess. I mean, it's the problem. The problem that's always been with the off-the-shelf stuff is A, power, and B, heat. In that it's not designed for a sort of appliance. It's designed for a PC. So that's why they go down this route of custom designing stuff. So I don't know whether they've overcome that now. Maybe the power consumption's low enough now and heat's not a problem. They can just use off-the-shelf stuff. But then it's going to be massive. So if they did that, so it'd have to be customized in some way. Unless they were just like, here's a box, go nuts. I don't think they'll do that.
The Steambox it.
Steambox it. Yeah, as to the broad multimedia capabilities, that's just
That's
stupid,
dumb.
isn't
Might
it?
as well
It's
just say
dumb
it
analysis.
comes with
Of
a controller.
course they're going to have broad media
Yeah,
capabilities.
Definitely no.
So one on Pav, let's point to you. Question 2. Screenshots from Dishonored developer Arcane Studios' Half-Life 2 Episode 4 or Return to Ravenholm have surfaced online. But what other games has Arcane developed or worked on? And you get a point for each correct answer.
Dishonored.
Well, for even he
said
just mentioned,
Cam.
he said you said Dishonored in your description, so I didn't imagine we're going to get a point for that, or are we?
Yeah, you can get a point for Dishonored.
Dishonored then.
Yeah.
Damn.
Well done.
Thief. Did Arcane not work on Thief?
No, because that was yes, the person that works there now, I forgot his name.
Harvey Smith.
Harvey Smith did work
I
on
thought
Thief,
that
but
was
not
us.
with Arcane.
Damn.
Any others?
Borderlands?
Borderlands? No, I'm afraid not. Any other ideas?
I don't have a clue.
Really? No one
No,
knows
no,
any.
I-
By the
I'll give you a
time
clue.
I
We was
realised
talking-
something was wrong.
Oh, Deus Ex. Earlier Deus Ex. Or was that just Harvey Smith again? I think I'm just
afraid
following his
you're
career.
just following his career.
Damn
These
it.
aren't Arcane.
See, if the
Studio
question
games.
was, what games is Harvey...
If it was Harvey Smith, we'd all be there. So you've got 1 point. I'll give you a clue. We were talking about one of the games in this series earlier.
Cam, Devil May Cry? Nah.
What?
That's a joke.
No. But
Bioshock.
close.
Tokyo Crash Mob.
Okay, right.
Bioshock 2.
Yes, well done. It was Bioshock 2.
I said a wrong answer.
Oh, look, not for this one, because it's one of those ones you all have to
okay.
shout out. Bioshock 2, yes, they developed Bioshock 2.
I don't like your tough quiz.
No. Okay, I'm going to read them out now.
Okay, go.
Arx Vitalis,
Oh yeah.
Dark Messiah of Might and Magic,
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Call of Duty World at War, they did the multiplayer.
Oh.
Yeah, there you go. The Crossing, which was a cancelled first-person shooter. Karma Star, which was an iOS strategy game. LMNO, anyone remember that one? That got cancelled. Bioshock 2, they did level design or level design assistance, and Dishonored. So there you go.
Wait, they did the multiplayer for
World
World
of
at
War.
War.
Yeah.
That sounds insane. That sounds unbelievable.
It sounds unbelievable. I think they helped out with the multiplayer.
Okay, that makes more sense. I can get on board with that.
Sorry, I don't think they did the entire multiplayer. I think
Okay, I'm back
I think,
in.
I think it's like what they did with Bioshock 2, is that they helped level design.
Okay,
and,
that's
and
fine.
some resources and stuff. So yes, anyway, this Half-Life 2 Episode 4 thing looked kind of cool. It looked very cool, in fact. And I was very disappointed by it.
You see the
Well, we got
Half-Life
the
1
song.
alpha the other day?
Was that?
So there was footage of Valve's original Half-Life 1 like alpha for Half-Life 1, and they've all got like really big googly eyes. But you can see it. It's there. Like, but it looks funny. It's worth checking out.
Okay.
Have you guys played Black Mesa? It's like a reinvention of Half-Life.
Yes. Danny has.
I have. I played the first 5 hours or so, 4 hours. Yeah, it was really
But
fun.
that's all there is, isn't there?
No, it's a full game.
Oh, it is?
Apart from the final missions. where
Yeah, you don't get to go to Zen.
Zen, yeah.
Oh well.
But the
no
whole
one's gonna,
rest-
no one's going to be crying about that.
The whole
are
rest
they?
of the game's there, and yeah, I mean, apart from the obscene loading times, it's really good. It's really
There's
good.
lots of loading.
Okay.
And they've changed lots of little bits as well. It's not identical. They've had a little bit of fun with things, and yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Okay, cool. Which state in America has revived? That's not the right word.
Revised.
Which state in America has removed violent video games from service stops on the Turnpike in Charlton, Ludlow, Lee, and Beverly?
Do you see which state?
Yes.
Connecticut.
That is incorrect, Cameron Robinson. Anyone else want to hazard a guess at state in America?
Massachusetts?
That is correct. Well done.
Wow,
Point
perhaps
for
getting
Pam.
the
Well
quiz.
done.
You're not just giving them away to me, are you?
No, this is genuinely is Massachusetts. So this is the Massachusetts Department of Transportation has removed 9 violent arcade-style games from rest stops on the Massachusetts Turnpike in Charlton, Ludlow, Lee, and Beverly, according to a Boston Globe report. The move comes less than a month after the December 14th schoolhouse massacre in Newtown, and also the recent. I can't remember where it was. It's not
California.
on here. It's California,
Because
wasn't
that's
it?
exactly what causes people to shoot people. Is they're driving along and then they get to a rest stop and they buy a violent video game.
It's not buying. These are arcade machines.
Sorry.
These are-
Yeah, well, even worse.
these
They
are-
get out
these
the
are
car and
arcade
they,
machines,
They get
yeah.
all riled up playing their arcade games and they go and shoot people. Jesus.
Transport Secretary Richard Davies said pulling the games just made sense in light of events. Bottom line is, this is a quote, I think there isn't a person who doesn't believe that there isn't too much violence in our society, and games can glorify that. A video game in a public space could be used by anybody of any age. At the end of the day, those games are there to entertain kids, probably for a few minutes while their parents are resting from a long trip. 2 of the games removed by the state were Time Crisis and Beachhead 2000, which we had that at Minecon. Do you remember Beachhead, that game?
Was that the one with
one
the,
with the guns
Pirates of
and-
the Caribbean rip-off?
Yeah,
was
yeah,
it?
yeah. No, that was the other one. The one next to it was like you had like these little guns, you were like shooting spiders and stuff.
Was that one with all the fish and all the
Yeah,
water?
yeah, all the
the
fish
one
and all
which
the-
ran on Crytek.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
The others were not specified. Driving games like H2O Overdrive were left at the rest stops to challenge driving skills. That's a quote as well. So this obviously is a big topic at the moment.
Yeah.
Martin, any words on this?
I don't
I'm
know,
sure
I-
you've got some.
I
but-
feel super hesitant to discuss issues like this. Like,
why?
Do you know what I mean? Because it's both a very sensitive topic,
Yes.
and I'm quite a liberal-minded person, but at the same time, I worry that I've not done enough research on this to have like a definitive opinion.
It's tough.
And you see, because when it's like, hey, Martin, talk about Pokemon Red, I'm like, yeah, I'm in. Let's go. But with something like this, because I don't think I've done enough of the background reading. So I was reading through some of the sort of argument about it, and there's lots of like quoted stuff, and the way my mind works, like I want to like dig into that stuff they're quoting from and really take it back to the source before I want to think about it. It's why I don't feel super comfortable writing about it. Like when we've had stories up on GameSpot, my sort of US counterpart has done it because he's more, aware of the whole situation, and I don't want to say anything rash. Like, I mean, my gut feeling, of course, is that video games, are being sort of picked on a little bit, but then I don't want to, because I sometimes do think, like, I've been playing video games for so long, and I'm so used to violent video games, but then I think, well, what if someone who'd never played video games ever looked at the video games that I'm playing? Like, I play Dota 2 like every evening, and I sometimes think, like, what if someone who has never played a video game watches me playing this game, and they might think, like, man, that's a really violent game. Like, that's
I guess
that whole game is about like killing people like over and over and over again. Like, and so while I think that I do think the video games are being picked on, I sometimes I think what I do is I try and take a sort of middle of the road approach, in that I think the effect of violent video games should be studied, but from what I've read, a lot of the reports that are being taken and spun out are not conclusive. Like, so when you read, so when you see like a sort of a right-wing news piece, a lot of the time they're based on a report that someone's done. And when you look at that report, maybe the findings of the report are certainly not as black and white as the news report takes out. But I do think it's something that should be looked into.
I guess the argument here, though, is whether there are greater issues to worry about than sort of taking arcade machines off some rest stops on a freeway.
Okay, all right. That's basically that is silly. That is silly.
Just to go back to what Mara was saying, I think what you said was very good and very reasoned. But what I would say, though, is it is incredibly complicated, and the issue is, one of the biggest issues is when people say, there's there's a problem with violent video games or violence in video games, and people shouldn't play violent video games. And the thing is just there's no good distinction. There's no, across the whole of the research and the scientific community, there is no distinction of what constitutes violence in a game. And there's no level of what is more violent than something else. So do you mean like blood? Do you mean gore? Do you mean hitting people with swords? Do you mean shooting people in the face? Like what? And does it matter if it looks realistic and all these kind of things? So there's really, in terms of research, the issue is, in terms of reporting and the impression that the general public get, is that the good thing is there's lots of research going on, loads, which is really important. And to the extent that I got really annoyed when there was that knee-jerk reaction from a senator being like, there's suddenly to be loads of research happening now, so it looks like I'm doing something. And it's like, buddy, this is already going on. We don't need you to try and look like you're making a difference here. But the difficulty is that you have to look at these studies in the context of the whole research, and that's never done when, say, a right-wing newspaper will pick up a story and say, this story shows that kids who play violent video games are more violent in primary schools, or more violent in schools. And these are kind of studies which headlines that have been written about studies. But the problem with these studies often is that they're very, very small sample sizes, or you're asking kids to self-report, and self-reporting is a really crap way of drawing any sort of conclusive
There's
proof.
no way of...
But no, that's not true. There are other ways of assessing these type of things, especially over longer periods of time. And the research is being done. There's a lot of good research as well. But currently, the consensus is categorically that, yes, specific types of gameplay can cause people to feel aggressive, right? And can cause people to show aggression. But it's no difference from the aggression you might get from being frustrated at anything, or from playing sport, or from, as the researcher I spoke to, his good example was, as aggressive as you get when trying to open a bottle of milk or something, and you can't. It's the same type. There's no distinction being made, and there definitely is no link between playing violent video games and actually real-world violence. That has not been proven at all, and that's the kind of crux for me.
I mean, I guess
you need to be able to prove that.
I mean, and the other side of this, I mean, if you really want to get into it, and the arguments that go on in the US at the moment, obviously gun control is the biggest one, right? And even if, I guess it's to say that even if you could have a link towards a video game making you particularly aggressive, or something else making you particularly aggressive. The fact of the matter is that if you have access to something like that, then there are going to be people out there that do terrible things with it.
Yeah.
And I just think no matter what that root cause is there, it's just you're just aiding this whole violence thing.
I guess I think about this quite a lot, right? Now, when I was younger, I was certainly playing violent games that were... I mean, again, like the core issue, I do not think games should be banned, and I do not think people shouldn't be allowed to play them. But I do think one of the things I think about a lot lately is that when I was maybe like, when I was underage, I was playing Resident Evil, I was playing Grand Theft Auto, and and obviously, like, I obviously believe that I'm a normal person, but then
it's arguable. But
I'm going to, aren't I? I'm going to.
Yeah.
But so I think I think I grew up fine, but I also think, like, if I have a child, I don't know if I don't know if I'd be comfortable with them playing these games as early as I did play them. I mean, what I guess here is that that's just me growing up, and then if I, Gaston Jr. will probably do the exact same thing as I did and find a way around it, do it anyway, probably still be okay, and history will just repeat. But I do agree that I do think there should be, like, when people say, oh, there should be proper, like, moderation and certification on these things, I do agree with that, and I do actually find that I agree with that more as I get older. Like, when I was like 14, I was like, oh no, everything should be available to everyone, and now I'm 26, I'm like, I don't know. Like, I was playing The Walking Dead, and I'm like, would I be, like, if I had like a 11-year-old, would I be comfortable with them playing The Walking Dead? And I'm like, I'm not sure I would, because I was finding this stuff pretty grim. Like, there was some stuff that properly, like, shook me up. And again, maybe as I'm getting older, I'm becoming a lot weaker. I seem to cry a lot more at, like, films and stuff now. So, maybe I'm getting a weaker constitution as I get up. But it's, I do wonder about this stuff, and the more I wonder, the fewer answers I seem to have on the issue. But I think it's the way I would prefer it is if people just discussed it if people just discussed it, like, if it felt like if a parent ever, like, wrote into us and was like, oh, should my child be allowed to play this game, like, and I think the more discussion we can have on the subject that's not hysterical, the more better. God, I said more better. I said more better again earlier, and people totally call me out on it. The better it will become. Like,
but that's like you're completely right. I think you're completely right, and that's like different because that's talking about kids playing games that they shouldn't be playing in the first place, and that's an important distinction. There is already, as you say, certification, which is meant to stop young kids from playing violent games. But it's the same as being involved or being subjected to any sort of, like, violent media, right? Yeah. And I think I think there is a bit of common sense in there. You don't want your 5-year-old to be playing a game where you're blowing people's heads off, because you lack the ability to understand the importance of it, the context, and all this kind of thing, right?
I'll tell you what, Alien ruined me. This is a film. I watched Alien when I was way too young. I must have been like 8 or 9 years old, and because my mum explained sort of on a very basic level what this film was. And she said, like, this guy sort of gives birth to an alien. And I, in my mind, was convinced it was going to be this hilarious, like, buddy cop thing, where, like, he gives birth to, like,
Lethal Weapon?
Maybe a bit. And he gives birth to, like, a wacky alien who's, like, a fun sidekick. And
oh, you must have been shocked.
Around. And so I'm like, yeah, I'll watch this. I'm like, I don't know why it's on so late. I don't know why it's on the telly so late, but I had a telly in my room, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to watch this.
Sorry. I was just going to say I had exactly the same experience with Jurassic Park. I didn't realise there were going to be dinosaurs in Jurassic Park when I went to the cinema. I thought it was about a theme park. And, like, kids who went there and had fun for a day. Boy, was I shocked.
Wow.
That ruined me too.
I had nightmares for like 2 weeks, and even now, when I see one of those frigging aliens,
they are scary.
I feel really bad. Like, I do not feel good inside me. Like, I feel bad. And I know because I watched that film way too young. And Danny has actually bought this, he bought this canvas print of an alien on the toilet playing a PSP.
Yeah, it's amazing.
And he's hung this up like, you have to look at it before you leave the house. So he's saying, every day I'm walking past this xenomorph who's on the toilet playing a PSP, and I'm both amused and genuinely quite unsettled. Like, I don't like it, and that's because I watched that film too soon. So I guess, but then I also think maybe everyone should have one of those moments. Like, maybe it's good character building stuff.
You grow out
Like,
of it, I think, most of the time.
I had a very similar thing with Nightmare on Elm Street. I watched that when I was like 6 or 7, and
yeah, that
Yeah.
sort of stuff's freaky, man. I mean, I don't know what it was that made me so freaked out by spiders. There was probably something that I've mentally blocked out from my childhood, but it's forever now. Like, I just can't deal with spiders. Like, they just freak me the hell out. Like, no, I can't even look at a photo of a spider. Like, I can't.
So you haven't seen It, Stephen King's It?
I have seen Stephen King's It. Yeah, but I don't think it was that. It's freaky, but not. I don't know. I just can't deal with spiders. Anyway, look, we should move on.
Yeah, we should.
There's just a couple more questions. If you don't get this, which shop has called in the administrators this week?
Damn, HMV.
Oh, come
Well
on.
done. Well
I don't
done.
get a point for that. We all knew that.
Yeah, but you get
Next
a point
question.
for doing. You get a point for doing it quickly. I tried to leave a question for this. It was difficult. But I know we need to talk about it. This is HMV, who is one of the few remaining entertainment chains on the high street. Is now putting about 4,350 jobs at risk as it goes into administration. They've got 239 stores. Trading has been suspended on the stock exchange, as said. And for consumers, if you've got a gift voucher or anything like that, they're not accepted anymore.
Damn.
Same as what happened to Jessup's the other day, which is the camera retailer, which is this is the second one in just as many days. It's,
So what you're saying is my £10 HMV voucher I got 5 years ago, which I keep forgetting to cash in, is no longer valid.
is no longer valid. That £10
Damn.
has gone. It is gone.
Oh.
So, I mean, this is obviously a dark day for the high street. HMV's been around for a very, very long time.
Well, if you take into account Jessup's and Curry, was Curry's? No,
No,
Comet,
no,
sorry.
Comet.
Apparently, that's equivalent to like 11,000 retail jobs that are at risk in like
Well,
the first week of January already, or
Comet's
at risk
gone.
of going.
Like,
yeah.
done.
There's potentially 11,000 jobs going, which is like that's a huge.
It's
number for the
crazy.
retail sector.
I mean, it'll be interesting to see what happens. I know that Jessup's and the administrators in the stores have closed, so like HMV's still trading, but Jessup's is shut. Comet's just long shut. I mean, they're not coming back. But I don't know what's going to happen to HMV. I don't know if there's going to be someone that's willing to rescue them from this, or just let them go. It's a tough call. Like, I went to HMV over Christmas and I found it a nightmare. 'Cause I couldn't find anything I wanted. No, I mean,
you like
I don't
shopping
mean
for
this.
shoes
I
or
don't
something?
mean this in
That
a
would be
horrible.
alright.
I really don't mean this in a horrible way. I mean that it's tough to compete because if you go to HMV and you want a specific film or whatever, it's just they might not have it or whatever, and you go through it. It's like I know I hate saying it, but if I go on Amazon, I just type in the word, there it is, and I know they have it, and it'll be there the next day or whatever. And it's kind of, and it'll be cheaper as well most of the time. So it's it's hard to compete with that. Really hard. So I wish all the people at HMV the best. Hopefully it'll still be around. I'll miss them. Used to remember going.
definitely will.
I
Yeah.
remember going to HMV when I was young, buying CDs all the
too.
time.
Yep.
I used to wait for my paycheck and then just grab it, go buy CDs.
Yeah. I used to buy records as well from HMV, like vinyl records.
I do like Amazon, but it'd be nice if they paid all their tax.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. But then those cheap prices got to come from somewhere, man.
Yeah, I guess it's from our future.
We don't need a future. We live in the now,
No, I
Martin.
suppose.
We live in the now of parties and cheap convenience goods. We
Guess.
don't need pensions and futures and that.
It has been a long time since I bought something from HMV. I do admit that, but it'd
they
be
had
nice if Amazon paid all their tax.
Didn't they have a reasonable, like their online business was fine? I mean, isn't there room
No,
for someone
it's
to
not.
chop that off and take that?
Possibly, I mean, that's one of the talks is that the brand is still quite strong, but they've never managed to nail online. I think they just came too late to online, basically. By the time they got there, they hadn't had a business that was significantly different from what everyone else was doing to the point where it's just not. I mean, if you see something that's only at HMV, you'll buy it from HMV.com. I've done it before, or significantly cheaper. But otherwise, you wouldn't. You wouldn't go out of your way to go to HMV.com. And yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens.
Play got shut down last week.
Yeah.
Play.com.
Yeah.
Play.com, yeah.
What?
That,
No
They're
way.
done, yeah, Play done.
that was because of
What?
the rules with his jersey.
They've closed
wasn't
the
it?
tax loophole.
Oh, so
Yeah.
that's their whole
And, like,
business
yeah.
model.
Play's out.
Oh man,
Play's tapped out.
I ordered loads of stuff
Yeah.
from Play.
I could be-
Loads.
I could be wrong, but I thought Shop 2 were on that same thing, was to do with like the jersey tax. Maybe not.
I don't know.
Because Amazon used to be.
They had an Amazon jersey thing.
Yeah,
Indigo
which where all,
Star
Indigo
from
Star,
Fish.
which is where all the CDs and DVDs and stuff came from, which no longer happens, obviously. Okay, well, I didn't know Play.com had gone. I was about
Well,
to.
they're still around. They're turning into like a marketplace seller.
Becoming eBay.
So basically useless.
Useless.
I'll
Great.
always remember them for their free delivery policy. That was
Free delivery
really
that was
nice, like,
insanely slow, but it.
everything. And it was well packaged as well. Like, you know, it's
Yeah,
like
it's 'cause
multiple
it took like
layers.
3 weeks to arrive. Like, it just took so long. Anyway, final question then. How many points is that now? That's 2 for you, 2 for you.
Pav's winning.
No, it's 2 each.
Cam's winning.
It's 2 each. You've
Why
got no
only got
points.
2?
I'm
I thought
coming
we both
second.
had 3.
All right,
Could
you
be
both
wrong.
got 3. Fine. Which?
Wow.
Which?
I
No,
should have
actually,
shot
no.
higher than that. I'm pretty sure I had 11.
You need to lose a point for back.
Whatever. You've both got the same amount of points. So whoever
okay,
gets
okay,
this is the winner. Martin cannot win now. He has lost.
Sorry, Mike.
Which Ubisoft-owned IP may be seeing a revival?
Oh.
There was a news story on this.
Was it on GameSpot?
It was on GameSpot.
Oh.
You should know, Martin.
Did I write it?
No.
Good.
That would be really
Can
bad.
you give us a clue?
I'll give you the first word.
No, that's too much of a clue.
I
A
can't-
clue
I
about
don't-
the story.
Okay, so a trademark application for this game suggests that the publisher is keen to revive it. The game was announced at the 2005 Electronic Entertainment Expo, otherwise known as E3, but its existence to date has been limited to just one trailer. This trailer indicated that the game would be a flashy first-person shooter featuring a tattooed gangster. No release date was ever given, and its death seemed apparent until Ubisoft filed an additional trademark application for it in May 2009. The latest trademark application was filed earlier this month on January 4th.
Tat Smasher.
Tat Smasher.
Is it
Tats.
What? That's
Tat
kind of good title of games.
Tat Smasher.
Yeah, Frank Tat Smasher.
You know what tats are, right?
Huh?
Tattoos. you mean.
Tattoos.
Yeah,
tattoo man.
but it also has another meaning.
What? Write it down on a piece of paper.
Well, replace the letter A
No, just don't go down
with
that
something
road.
else.
Oh no, not
Okay.
that.
Well, that's what. That's.
Okay, Tattoo
That's because when
Smasher.
you said Tat Smasher, I was like, dude.
Oh no, that's
not cool.
You've
Really
taken
not cool.
my
But
innocence.
that's what it sounded like.
You've made it
It's
dark.
like Alien all over again.
I don't know what you've done. I don't know what you've done to this.
Anyway.
I honestly, I read the story and the name was so forgettable.
Get off the
It's
GameSpot
like Clive Baker's
newspaper.
generic-
He's on the GameSpot newspaper.
I'm not.
right
I'm
now.
on this specific story that's important that I was going to mention briefly when we finished the news quiz, Mark.
All
Clive
right.
Barker's generic.
All right. No one's gonna know. It's
It's-
not.
yeah.
It's Killing Day.
Killing
Oh,
Day.
Jesus.
Killing Day.
What? It's Killing Day. That's a
Yes.
terrible
This-
name.
yeah, I know, but this was a game. Like I
Tat
said,
Smasher's better than Killing Day.
so this was the E3 2005 where it was announced.
Okay.
And apparently, it may be coming back. There is a trailer. If you head over to GameSpot, it's in the
Do you
news
think
story.
they got the same people who named Warfighter to name Killing Day? Jesus.
Probably.
You know what? You killed stuff during the day. Got it. Done.
This is a day.
You fight wars.
Okay.
Got it. Done.
Anyway, that's happening apparently. So no one got that. So it's a tie.
Oh man.
It's a
Well
tie
played, sir.
between
Respect.
Pav and Cam.
Respect.
Well
No respect
done.
for you, Martin.
No respect for Martin. He's got 0 points, but apparently does have one more news story
I won
to
last
share with
week.
us.
I can bag
Yeah.
this one.
Go on then. What's your final news story, Tat Smasher?
The jailed Armour devs have been freed on bail.
Hooray!
Oh, that is good
Yay.
news.
Now, if you've been following the news for the past 7 months,
It's been a while.
Been that long?
there were
Wow.
2 developers who were sent to jail in Greece, they're working on Armour 3, which is by Bohemia. It's a very serious war simulation game. Armour 2 is it's sort of a PC. It's a real sim war game, and I can't emphasize just how sim the war is on this one. Like, this is not your Call of Duty
Super
and
hardcore, yeah.
your Jack Tattoo Smashers here, right? They've been they were imprisoned. To the developers, Ivan Bukshta, I can't pronounce it, and Martin Peslar, which I can pronounce.
Hooray! So they've been
Good.
freed.
That's good
They
news
are
for
now,
them and their
they
families.
have now been freed on bail after a 128-day imprisonment.
It was for spying, wasn't it? Allegedly spying.
It was allegedly for spying, yeah.
So probably looking at bases for research and then.
It was the allegation was they were spying on a military compound.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, that's good news.
Yeah.
So anyway, time now to quickly run through some of the feedback. We've already taken quite a bit from Twitch.
Yeah.
But if there is anything else on there, Martin, that seems particularly interesting, then do let us know. Otherwise, email us podcast@gamespot.co.uk, of course, on Facebook or Twitter. First email is from JohnnyBoy722010, who says,
Catchy.
I have to say that Earthworm Jim is just one bizarre and twisted game, but finally got into it when I got it for the SNES. However, when I got the Game Boy Advance version, it wasn't as good as the SNES port. Various problems with the graphics, animation, and the music didn't really work well. I love the sound of the Scottish bagpipes during the bonus in the Anything But Tangerines level, but the game,
Anything but Tangerines
Is this from
was
like
fierce.
2005? This email.
but the Game Boy Advance version sounded like someone was fighting those bagpipes and lost. I was disappointed to hear that an Earthworm Jim movie had been in the works and then cancelled. The animated series that had aired was memorable as well.
Yeah.
This just came up. Guy forwarded this to me, or rather to the podcast Alias. Someone emailed Guy directly this email about
Wow.
Earthworm Jim.
That's
Yeah,
what I'm
with no
wondering.
but this is literally like, there's no context to this of like
So Arthur and Jim.
I just I've got a SNES recently on from eBay, and I'm playing Earthworm Jim. It's just Earthworm Jim's
Do you
pretty
think it's
cool.
been like bouncing around the internet ether for like 5-6 years?
What,
Maybe
this
longer?
email or
Yeah,
Earthworm
this,
Jim?
this email.
I have
And
no
it's just
idea,
suddenly
but
popped to the guys'
it's
inbox.
there anyway.
If you've not played Earthworm Jim
It is a great game.
Yeah, it's cool.
2, I think Anything But Tangerines Earthworm Jim 2, I might be wrong. You should play that because those games were
They were
great.
amazing.
They
Yeah.
were great.
They're on the
Classics.
Mega Drive, right?
I played
As
it on the
well?
Mega Drive,
I played mine
yeah.
on the Mega Drive. Yeah.
They were best on Mega Drive, like all games released in that period.
Mega Drive was amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was. It was. Next email is from
Do you remember that,
Stuart.
sorry, do you remember that
Go.
level where you were like just a normal worm and it was playing that Beethoven, Bach? No, crap. That
I don't remember.
Oh yeah, like
really
an
famous piece
Inferno
of music,
level.
and I know what it's called, and I can't remember who it's by. That's terrible.
Remember the level
But
where
yeah.
you had to fight that bogey on a bungee jump?
Oh yeah, I do
Fighting
remember
a
that.
big boss bogey.
I just remember using cows to launch things on other things. That was cool.
Yeah.
Anyway, Stuart says, hi all, quick question. I'm moving house soon and due to my wonderful girlfriend's understanding ways, I'm allowed a games room of sorts.
Wow.
Well done,
Ooh,
you.
nice.
I'm now pondering what to use as a display. My LCD TV will live in the lounge, so I was thinking of using a bigger flat screen monitor in the games room. That way I can use it as a login screen for my home server as well as a gaming screen. The question is, what do I need stats-wise, I guess specs-wise, for a good screen? I use my 360 for gaming and the home server will act as a media center for the house, iTunes, films, etc. What do you use as screens, for example? I'd imagine you have the good idea of the sort of thing I need. Wow, what do we use? I have a really similar setup in that I have a home server. I have a media server that has my iTunes and my films on. That's actually in the lounge plugged into the TV, and then it serves everything else. And I sort of just VPN into it.
Yeah.
What else? In my room, I have a 27-inch Dell monitor that I've had for an eternity, and it was at the time insanely expensive, and it's like an IPS monitor. So
IPS.
It's IPS. It's not
Full of IPS.
it's not a cheap one. So it's got very nice color accuracy and all that jazz. But you don't really need that. You can buy a 22 LG IPS monitor, 22-inch 1080p one for like £100 now.
That is what I have.
Yeah, is that the one?
That is
yeah.
what I have.
There you go. You see.
I'm a lot cheaper. I need a screen that plays Dota.
Yeah. How many inputs has that bad boy got?
I don't know.
One Dota input.
Not really helping this guy out.
On
If
the
he's-
back, there's a bit of this like Dota pipe.
Don't-
You put in the cable and
Dota.
Dota comes out.
You say one Dota, please.
Yeah.
And then it,
I guess he
plays
only
Dota.
needs 2 inputs. If he's
Yeah.
using it for 360 and his home server, then it'll be fine. And you could plug the home server in
I
via.
thought you said 360 was in the other room.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah,
know.
and he
No,
just-
it's a gaming room though.
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
The
sorry.
TV's in the lounge.
TV's
The
with it, right,
there will be
gotcha.
no gaming in the lounge. It is
No
forbidden.
gaming in the lounge.
Forbidden. Okay. So this guy has
Okay.
got a game in the sanctity of a den. So I
Get back
guess
to your den, Steve.
I love the way that his missus is now an evil troll. It's like,
Get back to your den.
Stuart, I'm sorry for Martin's behaviour. I'm sure your girlfriend is lovely, not an evil troll. Just get a screen with 2 inputs. It's easy enough. I'm sure.
Okay.
I'm sure that Martin's screen has more than 2
As
inputs.
many, and the one thing is, as many inputs as you can get.
Because you never know, you might
bits are
expand later. You might want to
Yeah.
plug like a Wii into that.
You might want to get an Xbox 720
Yeah.
or a PlayStation 4. And just by saying that, the SEO of this podcast has gone up 3,000%.
Yes.
It was already pretty high after. What was it? Tat Smasher?
Tat Smasher.
Pretty
Tatsmasher.com. I'm going to change the name of the website. Yeah, anyway, I hope that helps you in some weird way. Actually, no, do you know what you should buy? You should buy one of those new Dell 21 by 9-inch monitors. Those are amazing.
Isn't that like £4 million?
No. It's like £400, but it's like super widescreen.
Right.
21 by 9.
21 by 9. It's like cinema
What?
aspect ratio. Yeah. Wow. So it's super wide.
Super wide.
I want one so much. Like I really want one. I think it would be amazing.
Are you just waste if you watch anything that's not cinematic?
Games, my friend. Games.
Yeah, okay.
Like if you think about the field of view.
So
that you-
PC games and
Yeah,
whacking
PC
up
games.
the
Yeah. Like
okay.
everything else would have black bars on the side.
Yeah.
But PC games, certain games support it. So
Yeah,
you can
Far
stretch it
Cry's
out.
got the thing. So Borderlands 2 as well on PC.
I think Skyrim does as well.
Yeah.
Like it's a big one that lets you have. So you just get like a whole extra section of the map that you can see around you, which is awesome.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Anyway, final email is from Rob Howard, 33. He put his age on here, so I'm going to read it out.
I love that.
Rob Howard,
All
33
emails
from
should
London.
now be sent with your age at the end.
Yeah.
And also what class you're in.
Yeah. It says, hi there, pod people. On the subject of dealing with a gaming backlog, I discovered a website called howlongtobeat.com at the end of last year. The site compiles game completion times and offers an average for each. You can also compile a backlog list and order the games by release date, review score, estimated time to complete, and so on. I'm not in any way affiliated with this website, but I've just found it immensely useful in trying to figure out how to get through it all. My gaming resolution for 2013 is to play the shortest games first, aside from a few notable exceptions like Bioshock Infinite and GTA 5. That way I should be able to get through more of them at the sad expense of never getting around to the likes of Dark Souls, Skyrim, etc. Some sacrifices have to be made. So there you go. Do you
have
have
the truth?
That's a
I
good
think
point.
we all.
Yeah.
I think many people have this issue. The games are quite long. I definitely don't get to play every game I want to because just because partly because of my job, because I have to review them and I don't get to choose that a lot of the time. So
Yeah.
I end up playing stuff that I probably wouldn't have necessarily gone out. and
Better
bought.
thought for this guy.
On the subject, like,
Jeez, man.
I'd love
Sorry,
to.
I'm just trying to help. I'm
Jeez.
sorry.
Oh, man.
Sorry.
You know what he said? Like, I actually have this dilemma because I really want to play Mass Effect 3, but I haven't played the first one.
That's
and
all
Mass
so,
Effect 1. You played Mass Effect 2 though.
No, but I can't because I have to start from the beginning.
No, you don't.
No, you don't.
Just play Mass
I
Effect
would
2.
not bother. I think Mass Effect is
Yeah, but from a
not-
story perspective,
No,
like, you
no,
know, just
no.
to have the.
Just play
you
2.
Jump in at 2.
2 is
really
like one of
jump
my
in.
all-time favorite games. 2, I think, is absolutely wonderful.
Yeah, 1
And
is good,
One doesn't
but
age
has
well
a lot
because
of issues.
Because of the whole way combat and things that were done in 1. It doesn't age well, and I would say just jump in at 2.
You're
It's
not
wonderful.
missing a lot. You're not
Okay.
missing a lot.
All
Literally,
right.
if you're really that bothered, just go on Wikipedia, read the plot synopsis for Mass Effect 1. Done. And then
Just
jump
imagine
in
someone
at 2.
selling tellies.
What? Just imagine.
Curry
What?
salesman.
Oh, yeah. Why is that? Yeah, but why is that
All the way
related?
back
I'm so-
around.
I'm so
Because
lost.
his Mass Effect 3 character looked like...
Oh, yeah. Well done.
Now that's a segue. That's how you do it. Cycle.
I wouldn't say as much as segue as a confusing
shut
set
up.
of words.
That site is good, by the way. The one listed. I don't know if I'm allowed to say it contractually, but that.
You are allowed to say there are other good websites in the world. It's fine.
Are there?
There
Yeah,
are other
there are
sites
other
other than
sites.
the
There are other
GameSpot.com.
There are other sites.
There are other sites. Also, that was final email, so thank you. On the Facebooks, my question is, when will this delusional emo of DmC realise that he is not Dante? We're not going to answer that question.
Talking about you.
They're not talking about that. Oh my god, this is just all the comments are just. Round my question: when will you stop calling yourselves fanboys and stop crying about it? Don't like it. Don't waste time doing S-word comments. Anyway, look. So basically, someone mentioned Devil May Cry, and it's just turned into that. So there are no useful things that we can read out from Facebook.
What about the Twitters?
Let me have a look. I want to have a look.
There's not many comments, but they're just all about that. So you tap that. Yeah, there you go. On the Twitter, I can check once Martin's given me back my iPad. It was just like Devil May Cry. Oh yeah, God, you fanboys. Oh my God, and that's a conversation between two people arguing about Devil May Cry. So I'm not even going to read those out. On the Twitter side, we have got if Twitter has been done, and this is a Sarah Lynch special, if it has been done. Has it been done? Here we go. It's happening. 30 unread messages. Okay. I don't think there is, you know. I don't think there is. It's about the stuff about the Assassin's Creed movie people are talking about.
Come on, Mark, the pressure's on you.
I know the pressure's on because there's no tweets here that I can really read out, unfortunately. But there you go.
Anything
Anyway.
Twitch then to finish
Twitch
off?
to finish off. Any Twitchness?
Someone is asking, where's the gameplay? Someone else is asking, are they playing Mirror's Edge? Yes or no?
Are we playing Mirror's
Right,
Edge?
me right now.
I believe our Twitch channel still says we're playing Mirror's Edge.
Oh, does it?
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Nope, sorry.
So if you're just
Not
tuning
me.
in, we're not playing Mirror's Edge. We have been playing
In
Mirror's
case
Edge
it
for
wasn't
quite
clear.
some time.
In case it wasn't clear. Yeah.
yeah.
Anyway, thank you for that, Martin. That was a really great Twitch update.
Where's the gameplay?
I'm glad that you're here
Thanks,
for
mate.
that. That was
Where's
good.
Mass Effect 4?
Where's Mass Effect 4?
Is
Does
it
anyone
the-
want Mass Effect 4? I don't want Mass Effect 4. I want a new
I want
game.
another game in the same universe, perhaps.
What's
Yeah.
on Random Encounter today?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Has a clue.
Danny
Danny's
O'Dwyer,
on
what's
there.
on Random
Danny's
Encounter today? He'll tell us, and then we'll tell
Is
you.
he in the chat?
Probably not. He's probably doing... I know he's on US time now, isn't he?
Yeah,
He'll
he's
be in
been-
by now, though.
Yeah, that's true. He will be in by now.
In post, we'll just have him talk.
We'll just edit in like a
Yeah.
segment, like an ad of some sort. Okay, well, thank you very much, guys. Finally, best games coming out this week. I've listed them all because there's not many. There's Sing Party on the Wii U, which people in the US will be very familiar with, as for some inexplicable reason it
Will
came
they?
out there first.
Will they be very familiar with Sing? Will they be, or more mildly acquainted?
If people like karaoke, they will be familiar with Sing Party.
Oh yeah, Sing
which-
Party. I'm very familiar with that.
Screw you, it got a 7. It's good karaoke fun. Tokyo Crash Mob on the 3DS, as mentioned earlier, is out over here. It's eShop download only. Zombie Scape, which I have no idea what it is.
We
It's
get
out-
that. It sounds great.
is that-
Out
'cause you're
on the, it's not
escaping
even
zombies,
3DS,
maybe?
it's DS.
DS.
Do you escape your own zombie?
I
Do
don't
you
know.
like plan them and put their hair on them and stuff, and then you're like,
I hope so. That'd be great.
I
would play
don't
that.
like where that's going.
it's not really dark. It's normal. And then you're like, hey, it's my zombie. It's called Jeff.
Earth Defense Force 2017 Waterfall is also out on the Vita. I don't want. Why would I want a zombie called Jeff? If I was going to have a zombie, I'd
Look,
name it
you
something
make your
called-
own damn zombie. I'll make my own zombie.
That's Zombie Scape. That's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
In
you're
fact, that's their tagline.
Make your own goddamn zombie.
zombie. Don't call it Jeff. Or just make a headless zombie in a bikini. Either way. And finally, Devil May Cry, that game that everyone's talking about, is out
Today.
today, actually, which is an odd thing for the UK, is that normally
Yeah.
our games come out on a Friday and they come out
Yep.
on a Tuesday in the US. But it's simultaneous worldwide
That makes
release.
sense. I like that.
Which is what people seem... This is a thing this year. First Pokemon, now Devil May
Well,
Cry.
Not to put a damper on
You
it,
know.
but I guess traditionally the reason is to do with like getting stock into shops, but with all the shops closing down,
It's not really...
and then I guess it makes sense. For
I guess
it, to be,
it doesn't make sense in the
yeah.
modern online world. But
Yeah.
anyway, I reviewed that and it got an 8.0, so it's good. In fact, it's great.
Great,
Sorry,
yes.
great is the official term. Check that out. Reviews for the PS3 version and PC version will be going out shortly. I think PC today, and then we'll probably get to PS3.
Good that one, isn't it?
PC version is good. It's, you know,
all those frames.
If you like 60 frames per second, which
I
apparently
do.
a lot of people do,
I really do.
Yeah.
then the PC version is where it's at. And if you can go above 60 frames per second, if you've got a fancy monitor,
Well, bully for you.
yeah, you can go. You can go 120 on that
Yeah.
cool 3D monitor we've got. Go nuts with the frames.
There's an idea. DmC 3D.
DmC 3D. No,
Wow.
No, thank you.
no. The less things that involve wearing 3D glasses, the better in my book. I don't know. I just don't think it's a thing, is it? Anyone care? 3D.
Well, 3D. Sorry, I'd already forgotten we're talking
Yeah,
about.
there we
3D.
go. So that's it for this week then. Thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I'm not going to do your names.
Thanks,
then. I just can't
Mark.
be bothered. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
But,
thanks for
That's all right.
Thanks, of course, to Seb there in the back.
thank you very much to
Thanks,
Seb.
Seb.
Ford.
Fifth member of the band.
Fifth member.
Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Yeah, wicked. So we'll be back again next week. In the meantime, podcast at gamespot.co.uk if you want to get in touch with us. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
Short wave goodbye.
Goodbye.
All of them.
So many.
Multi-wave.